Okay, you can see.
Wonderful. So, welcome here to our Sunshine and Elder Caring Coordination instructional training on how to identify scholarships for elder caring coordination uh, from the bench and within the court. So, by the end of this training, we are hoping that you will be able to understand the benefits of elder caring coordination, how to identify cases for elder caring coordination, and refer those cases where there is a sunshine member because those are eligible for scholarships to the process. And everybody here hopefully knows that there is a Florida statute 44.407 that was enacted to substantiate elder caring coordination in our state. So this project would not be available without the collaboration of Sunshine Health Plans and especially Jackie Seaton, who spearheaded the project, and the devotion of Jennifer Branch, Rosanna Powers, and our highly trained elder caring coordinators who have volunteered to ensure that older adults and their families in need have the opportunity to participate in elder caring coordination. I am Alinda Fieldstone, co-chair of the Elder Justice Initiative on Elder Caring Coordination, and we are so proud to be part of this whole process. We know that families don't age out of conflict, right? That's something that you see all the time within your court experiences. And we know that the numbers of people who are likely to go to court regarding issues concerning the health and safety of older adults is likely to double, maybe more, in terms of the litigation that they pursue to address their conflict. But is the court really the best place to do that? um, Older adults are actually dying while their family members are bickering with each other. And instead of caring for the person that they say that they love for, putting them right in the middle of that conflict. So lucky for us, we have the Elder Caring Coordination Statute, and we are able in our state to regulate elder caring coordination. We know that the Florida Rules and Policy Committee, the ADR Rules and Policy Committee, are working hard to be able to recommend the coordinated court rules to go along with that statute, but that elder caring coordination is now available for everyone throughout the state. We hope that more and more people are able to take advantage of that process and reduce the conflict and increase the safety and enhance the care of their aging loved ones. So the qualifications for elder caring coordinators are steep. And that's because what they do with the families is very, very important and requires a great deal of training. These are families that often don't want to be in the same room with each other. Some have moved literally across the state or even out of the country to be able to avoid each other. And they bring into the process all of their past unresolved issues, and make it very, very difficult for them to really focus on their loved one. And the EC is there to help those families reduce the conflict, or at least reduce the level of conflict that their aging loved one is experiencing by helping them to communicate more effectively, providing resources within the community and even beyond to assist them, and working with a very special tool called an Eldercaring plan to be able to help them work together to make sure that their aging loved one is taken care of and that the safety of that person is provided for. The elder caring coordinator makes recommendations for the resolutions of issues during the process. They don't actually resolve in terms of recommending what location an older person is going to be moved to, or if they stay at home. They are not going to make any recommendations on who a guardian is, but they will make recommendations on how to bring in information to make well-informed decisions together, or and assist the legally authorized decision maker to make those decisions in a way that most enhances the quality of life for the older person. The elder caring coordinator is in charge of the process. They make procedural decisions within the scope of the court order or with the party's prior approval to be able to invite appropriate participants to the process, decide how the meetings are going to be held and when and where. So I mentioned about the qualifications of elder caring coordinators, and we are so proud of the depth of experience, knowledge base, and training that the ECs in Florida have according to those qualifications designated in the statute. So all of the ECs are very well prepared to be able to take on these very difficult cases. Elder caring coordinators are appointed for up to 2 years, and you may be wondering why. The elder caring coordination process is very different than mediation. Mediation is an event. The parties go to mediation and they, in good faith, at least want to resolve their issues. They are working together with the mediator as a facilitator to be able to do that. Hopefully, they are able to reach an agreement and they move on and implement that agreement. The families that are in higher conflict need a special process that is that works with their specific needs and their own characteristics to be able to help them focus on the aging person. They really are not as interested in being able to resolve issues as they are in obtaining justice. And justice for them is often punishment for whoever got the best birthday party when they were 10 years old. So they bring, as I had said before, all of these personal unresolved issues and past disappointments and family conflicts from way back to the process. So the family first needs to be oriented to the process. They need to be engaged, not just because they are court ordered, but because they now understand what the process, how the process can help them. The EC is then able to start helping them learn how to manage their conflict better. And as the family is learning their better communication skills and strategies that are taught to them, they apply them and they see the benefits of those strategies and skills and eventually integrate them. But that takes time. So the beginning of the cases usually take more time with the family. And as they're able to apply what they are learning, there are fewer and fewer appointments. But if anything comes up during the transitional issues of the older adult during that 2-year period, instead of having to go back to court to resolve non-legal issues, the care and safety issues, they're able to do it quickly and more effectively and less costly within the elder caring coordination process. And what that does is, instead of the family having a constant win-lose framework, like they would when they go back to court, where they're defaming each other in order to show the judge that they are better, they are instead in the process continuously working together with a focus on the older person rather than on the blame and the past. Identifying cases within the court is not so difficult. You know these cases when they're in high conflict, that gatekeeping or very possessive behavior, when family members are keeping the older person away from other family members. You know, there are children that are not able to see grandparents or grandparents because of all the infighting and the family alliances. You see that in court. They talk about that. Maybe they have tried mediation, but it has impasse, or as soon as they have signed an agreement, somebody reneges. They are constantly giving reference to unsubstantiated allegations regarding what family members are doing, or they are the frequent flyers that you see that come back to you over and over again regarding non-legal issues. On occasion also, you may be getting a case that is recommended for elder caring coordination that is identified through adult protective services. Now we know that high conflict, has great effects on the older person and the family members. All of those extra stressors, the financial incurrences of going back to court over and over again. But they're very courageously, Sunshine Health Plans also recognize that high conflict is an actual health issue for older adults. And because of that, they are the ones that are taking a very, very important approach, modeling for other insurance companies as well, that elder caring coordination should be supported through health plans. So we want to send out another shout out to Sunshine and to Jackie for that. High conflict is a health issue. And you can, I'm sure, think about many instances that have come to you for attention because older adults are missing medication or are being mismedicated. They may not be fed properly or have the ability to feed themselves and are not getting food on a regular basis. There may be environmental hazards, safety hazards that are occurring in the home that the family is arguing about, delays in treatment. I'm sure that you could think of other instances that families have argued about when they are perhaps fighting over who is the guardian, for instance. Elder caring coordinators have in fact identified many of these issues, and in a research project, preliminary research, there have been over 60% of elder caring coordinators who have not just identified one safety issue, but multiple issues within their cases. So their eyes and ears are always open because they are assigned to a case for up to 2 years, instead of having a snapshot of what's going on in that family. And imagine the information you can get from a photograph. They have the ability to identify patterns in the family and uncover or discover things that they would not be able to if they were only seeing the family 1 or 2 times. But because they are there for up to 2 years, they are able to catch things that may have happened before that the family has never reported or that could be happening now, and have those concerns addressed by the appropriate authority. Elder caring coordinators are mandated reporters, and they will call Adult Protective Services while they are continuing to work on the cases to make sure that the elder is not put in further jeopardy while an investigation is going on. So I just talked about or brought up the idea of research, and there was preliminary research by a team from Virginia Tech University, Pamela Teester and Megan Dolman McNabb. And throughout their research, the judges all reported that elder caring coordination was very effective. Those judges that reported cited fewer motions to the court and less time. Their cases were more easily managed because the emotionality of the parties had deflated, or even if the parties came into court with their dukes up for each other, at least that they knew that they had a place to go afterward that would help bring them back to the focus on the elder person instead of each other. So attorneys have reported being better able to represent their clients because our clients can be more focused on the case rather than other parties in the case. The guardians have reported being able to make better decisions because they are able to look at the older person with a greater sense of who that person is, understanding intimate details that they never would have been able to know, making sure now that they can get their favorite foods, that music is played that they enjoyed, that they have the opportunity to participate in the kind of activities that the family has told them they have enjoyed in the past. And mostly the older people that are able to express it are able to say that in their view, the family is getting along better. They're now able to see their grandchildren or great grandchildren again, and able to live their lives with a sense of continuity or legacy that things will be better. You should know that the United Nations actually highlighted elder caring coordination as an awareness to action model for the welfare of older persons. Elder caring coordination was presented at the United Nations by invitation in 2019. So how can you help? Identifying that higher conflict within families is the most important thing that you could do. And then considering elder caring coordination as an option for them and supporting the process as they go through it. If you want more information on elder caring coordination, please go to eldercaringcoordination.com, pretty easy to remember, and look at the video on the home page. You can spread the word to the parties in front of you and suggest that they see that 5-minute video as well. So I'm going to hand it over to you now, Jackie.
Awesome. Thank you, Linda. My name is Jackie Seaton. I am a manager here at Sunshine Health Plan in Florida. I am located in the Tampa, Florida area, but we do have this program across other areas in the state of Florida. So we are very, very excited to be partnering with the Elder Justice Initiative on Elder Care and Coordination. So how does Sunshine Health come into play with this? So some of our program components, we will provide financial assistance for any Sunshine members that are court ordered to the Elder Care and Coordination program. So we would offer scholarship funds for up to $500 lifetime. So that's $50 per hour for up to 10 hours for those eligible members through the Elder Care and Coordination Initiative for the court-ordered program. The member or the member's responsible party and any other parties named on a court order are responsible for an additional fee of $25 for the first 10 hours according to the allocation on the court order. If the family member or the Sunshine member wish to continue beyond what the Sunshine Scholarship is, that $500 lifetime scholarship, they are responsible to pay their full payment of $75 per an hour. The program was piloted in Hillsborough County, and we are getting ready to roll it out to the other areas in the state of Florida. I think I saw something in the chat. Oh, okay. All right, so to qualify for Sunshine Scholarship funds, the elder must be a Sunshine Health long-term care member and 60 years of age or older. They must have a past or current court case or anticipated litigation. The member or the representative must provide his or her Sunshine Health Care coordinator with a copy of the motion to request elder care and coordination. And the family must agree to pay the $25 per hour for up to the 10 hours of elder care and coordination. So you guys are probably wondering, how would you know if that person is a Sunshine member? So in doing your assessment, if that person says that they're a Sunshine member, we do have a Sunshine email address that you can email for us to ascertain that they are eligible, and then we can start the process there. So some of the initial screening questions that we do have our team working with is, do they have a legal guardian? Do you have or have you had any previous involvement with Adult Protective Services? Do you have or is there a current court case with your family? Have you tried mediation in the past without success? Is your family in conflict or arguing about your care? And are you being kept from seeing family members, like Linda said before, maybe even being kept from seeing grandchildren, etc. Anything that you guys have identified as a possible conflict, that is the screening tool. Also, I would like to add is that our team also, when we do initial assessments on members, we are also screening them for elder care and coordination. So we are also asking them these screening questions. And if they do have two or more of, if they do answer yes to two or more of these questions, then we will refer them to Jennifer, who's going to kind of talk about the process there for elder care and coordination, or to you guys, the other program site administrators. So if the court identifies a Sunshine member, actually, I think this is Jennifer's slide, right, Jennifer? Sorry.
Yeah. No worries. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you all for being here today. And like Jackie said, if you all observe or identify a case that needs elder care and coordination, one of the things we've done here in Hillsborough County since we've been piloting this is any cases that we might identify. Now, one of the questions we ask is is the elder a Sunshine Health member? And if they are, then that's great, because then they can get some much needed financial assistance to help pay for the process. So as Jackie mentioned earlier, there's an email address that you can utilize. And from what I understand, Jackie, correct me if I'm wrong, but when a person emails that eldercaring@centene.com, that one email actually goes to several different people who can then identify whether or not the person, or mostly confirm if that person is a Sunshine Health member. So what you'll do is, for the program administrators who are here on this call today, you'll want to ask everybody if they are a Sunshine Health member, and if so, you can confirm it at that email address. And assuming that, the person's membership in Sunshine Health is valid, you can then proceed as you would normally with the referral. You would prepare the order as you normally would, and you would send the acceptance of the Elder Caring Coordinator form to the Elder Caring Coordinator that the court selects. And if we can go to the next slide, I'll show you, this is a sample form that we use here in our circuit for cases that are going to be paid for with the Sunshine Health benefit. So in addition to doing the initial order of referral to Elder Caring Coordinator, we also would then include this order as a supplement. And you can see that you put the information in about who the parties were that were referred to Elder Caring Coordination, and the supplemental order simply just lists all of the same criteria that Jackie mentioned in her previous slides about how the benefit is $50 per hour for up to 10 hours, and then the family is responsible for the additional $25 an hour. So that Elder Caring Coordinator is going to get reimbursed $75 an hour for the first 10 hours. And then there's that option to continue it if the family chooses to continue the process beyond that initial 10-hour benefit. So we've been having the judge enter this order simultaneously with the standard order of referral to Elder Caring Coordination. And we can get you all that order in a Word document as well, so you can have it and use it as a template for your circuit. So not only can the court identify a case that's appropriate for Elder Caring Coordination under the Sunshine Health program, the case managers who are working at Sunshine Health can also identify a case that could be appropriate for Elder Caring Coordination. And so if they identify an individual that might benefit, the Sunshine Health case managers would reach out to the individual program site administrator for that circuit. So that's why it's important for you all to have this information and to know it. So if you get a call from Sunshine Health saying, hey, I've got a member who needs Elder Caring Coordination services and they're under guardianship, you'll know what they're talking about. What you'll do is they're going to reach out to the court, to each individual program site administrator, wherever that person resides, and determine whether or not that elder has a court case. If they have a court case, great, then you proceed like you normally would. You would, in many cases, there's a hearing, and the parties are instructed on what's going on and what's going to happen, and then you proceed with your order of referral. If for some reason there is no court case, but the person still is in need of Elder Caring Coordination services, there is a way that you can make a referral to Rosanna at Department of Children and Families, and she'll come on and talk here in a minute, how she can work with the case and work with the case managers to still avail that person to the Elder Caring Coordination process if there is no court case. So once the appropriate avenue is selected, the Elder Caring Coordination referral can commence and then proceed, and the Elder Caring Coordinator can then begin to work with the family. And with that, you've got here our list of program site administrators. This is every program administrator in every circuit where we have a definite elder caring coordination process. So these are the people that Sunshine Health will be reaching out to if they identify somebody out in the field that could benefit from services. Okay, so after that, let me just get to the right slide here. Apologies. Okay. So the first step in the process, obviously, somebody identifies the case. The judge or the magistrate, mostly the judge, would sign the standard court order of referral, providing authority to the elder caring coordinator in establishing the fees. The elder caring coordinator is designated through that order. Then again, this proceeds as it normally would. The parties are then directed to contact the elder caring coordinator within about 10 days. And the elder caring coordination will reach out to the parties, check for any conflict of interest. And then the elder caring coordinator will submit a response form accepting or rejecting that designation. And then they proceed with each individual party for planning purposes. And then once all that's done, the work can begin. Go to the next slide. And I think this is where we turn over to Rosanna from Department of Children and Families.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. And thank you so much for your time today. It's Friday, last day of the week, and we have so much things, to get done before we leave for our weekend. One of the ways Adult Protective Services out there has been able to help is, of course, we look at whether or not a member is part of Sunshine, and if there is anything currently going on with the court system. And when you're emailing the referral and it's completed, we will be communicating together to see if there's already an open case through Adult Protective Services. And if you'll go ahead and go to the next slide. And what we want to talk about specifically is the statutory authority that we have to work under. And a lot of people are thinking that we're just 60 and above. And that is not the case. So with so many people that are mandatory reporters on this today, have you ever had to make a call to our Florida Abuse Hotline? You can either chat or unmute yourself. Wonderful. So I see some yeses in the chat boxes. So I appreciate that, because we're mandatory reporters under Florida State Chapter 415. We have this, we conduct an investigation of a vulnerable adult. So what is that vulnerable adult? We're going to skip over to the next slide. And I like to make doesn't mean. So we actually will investigate anyone over the age of 8. So some people are like, well, what's an ADL and what's an IADL? And Linda was so good earlier to talk about, some of these vulnerabilities. So are they able to bathe and dress themselves? Can they do their financing or shopping, handle their appointments and transportation, those type of things? So we have to look under that dysfunction or disability. And again, whether it's a long-term or a short-term disability. If it's a short-term disability, we may not have the right to go out and investigate it. So one of the things that we're asking is, if you think that you might have a case, you want to, contact me, is by all means, let's have a conversation, because I might be able to help you with some of the words you may need in order to make this report. So we're going to ascertain whether or not we can have an intake and whether or not an investigator is going to go out. And then we can make those referrals to the courts as needed. I'm not going to go through a bunch of little caveats about questions of who is a vulnerable adult and give you some scenarios, But what we want to do when we're out there looking at the investigation and working with the elder care coordinators and the Sunshine, you know, and everybody together is what behaviors of the victim are we looking at? What behaviors of the family or caregiver are we actually looking at? You know, what are the dynamics going on in the family? Who is trusted? Who are these caregivers? You know, do they meet that dynamic? And then, you know, exploitation. We know oftentimes exploitation is coming right there from the family. So we are looking, you know, at how we can help make these family dynamics, you know, clearer, and work with elder caring coordination so you guys can go out and do something. It might not be where we're going to return this over to law enforcement or state attorney's office, because that family conflict is so great, and elder caring coordination is the better referral for us to make. So we're going to work and make the elder caring coordination referral as well, and then tie up any of those loose ends, whether or not we have to make a court referral as well and get legal involved. With that said, though, are there any questions that I could help with? I say, if you in doubt, make a report to our hotline. I'm not always available. So if you are urgent, you need somebody, by all means, call our hotline so you can sleep at night. But if you want to have a conversation, call me, email me. I'm always available. And everyone else on this team has always made themselves available to have these discussions. So if I can be of any help, please let me know. And if there's any questions, feel free to ask me.
Do they have to be anonymous, or we can just say who we are?
It's up to you entirely. Some of us as mandated reporters, such as myself, I actually have an online account. I like to look to see what reports I've done online. So you can file them online, and that way you have a track, you know, recording for yourself of whether or not what has been done, because you'll get an email response back of whether or not that report has been accepted to our hotline. And if it was not accepted, why it wasn't accepted. So sometimes that why is the big question. And that's where I can help you with the question of how can we make this happen? And sometimes it's as easy as the verbiage, changing it. Because again, what makes this person vulnerable? What's an infirmity of aging? I have infirmity of aging because I'm wearing glasses, right? We reach 40 and over 40, and now I'm over 50, and now I'm going to be needing cataract surgery. I'm a vulnerable adult, right? This is a long-term impairment, but I have resources and I'm able to self-protect. So this is why I was saying these are the candid discussions we can have, so that way we can help make it, I think, a better report to our hotline. And then that way we don't have nearly as many declines on our acceptance rates. We actually get half of our reports are accepted and half are rejected. So if we can help manage that number and increasing it by helping learn some of the terminology to help with infirmities of aging, then let's try to make that happen. I hope that answers the question.
Are there any other questions? Okay, well, we hope today that you are feeling more comfortable about sending a referral, sending an addendum to the court order for referral for a scholarship if you have a Sunshine member who is involved in a family with a family in high conflict, and that you know that you can reach out to us at any time if you have any questions at all. We are here to assist you with this. Our goal is to help families be able to participate in elder caring coordination, no matter what their economic status is, that elder caring coordination be available for all families, all elders, older adults and families that are in need. So thank you so much for being with us for this presentation. And we look forward to hearing from you and servicing your the families that you refer.